Hey there, my name is Addict with a Pen and welcome to another 21 Pilots video. So a few months ago I made a video explaining every 21 Pilots song from every album minus Regional at Best. Now that Clancy has come out and has been out for a few months, I'm going to finish the series and officially get around to doing Regional at Best. Let's get started. Regional at Best was 21 Pilots' second album and was released on July 8th, 2011. It was Tyler and Josh's first project together and was their last independent project. With a few months after Regional at Best's release, they were signed to the record label Fueled by Ramen. After they got signed by them, they took down Regional at Best and used some of the songs on it to create Vessel about a year and a half later. I will only be covering the Regional at Best exclusives since I had covered the songs transferred to Vessel in my previous video. Slowtown is a song that is all about the fear of getting older and time moving too quickly. The song uses the word Slowtown as a place of solitude and refuge from the fast-moving times, of which come with more responsibilities and adulting, if you will. Tyler talks about a few memories he has had from his childhood, such as using playing cards to make his bike sound like a car. This song heeds as a word of advice to younger people or younger adults to enjoy the time they have, because before you know it, you'll be 20 years older and have a family to raise, wondering where time decided to go. This is one of my favorite songs on Regional at Best, and its meaning can be interpreted many different ways. The way I see this song is how life is scary, and lots of things in life can be terrifying or even impossible to conquer. I believe this song talks about a community, and music can be an escape or a weapon against the problems and difficulties of this world. This song is a very interesting one, and it's a really person-to-person interpretation of the song, because I asked multiple people, and they said that they had different meanings for it, which were very similar but not the exact same as mine. Although there is a lot on what this song could be, it's really hard to pin on the nose what its true and full meaning could actually be. This is a very deep song, one of which I find to be very heavy in both its lyrics and its meaning. This song is about the struggles with depression and suicidal thoughts. Glowing Eyes to me is what he's calling his brain. He doesn't want to leave the glowing eyes, despite knowing someone, who I believe to be death in a sense, knocking on his door. Instead of answering the door, he wants to play a song for the eyes to sing along to. Redemption is not that far, is a sign that things will get better. He just needs to keep singing and look forward with his eyes and look towards the future. This song, holy cow. I really wish that this song had made it onto Vessel. This song is not just so powerful in its meaning, but also in the lyrics and just the entire sound. Having his brother on the song just makes it so unique and so perfect. Sadly, this isn't a rating video, so let's get to the point. Kitchen Sink is a song about finding oneself, finding an identity and something to latch onto, a way to cope with tough situations, a way to battle depression or anxiety. In Tyler's case, he's a kitchen sink. No one but him really knows what that means. That's the idea. Only you know who you are and what you are. And you know what helps you be you. I tried to come up with an artistic way to say they don't know you, and neither do I, encapsulates this song perfectly. It couldn't be better said than that. Find something that chases your demons away and find out what and who you are. Whether that's through drawing, writing, singing, making YouTube videos, or anything else, find yourself so the demons can't take you from you. I'd ramble on more about this song, but let's save that for another time. Yet another extremely powerful song meant to help fight off the struggles of depression. Won't you go into someone else's dreams? Won't you go into someone else's head? Won't you torture someone else's sleep? That might sound alarming in a way, thinking Tyler is telling his thoughts to go hurt someone else, but I don't think that's the entire story. I think when he says someone else, he's meaning that the voices tell themselves those things and see how they like it. I've had to do that many times, tell all those negative thoughts to go away and talk to themselves like they talk to me and see how they like it. It's a message for those out there who struggle with these thoughts in a way, and feelings, and an anthem in a sort of way. The ending rap verse has a lot packed into it, but I think it's a cry for help to a religious power, what I believe, like I said in the last video, is the Christian God. He's starting to get surrounded. The tears and fears begin to multiply, which is saying that he's not able to keep up with warding them off, and it's becoming too much. He's asking for God's help to finish them off, knowing he can't do it alone. It's very similar to Goner, which would release 4 years later. I think that this song is what inspired a lot of the meaning behind Goner. Lovely keeps carrying this album's theme about depression and anxiety. This song talks about how a person is lying about how they truly feel, not telling the truth in terms of their mental health and emotional state. Tyler promises the person in this song that he will make them believe that they are lovely, and how people help them get through the things that they are battling. This song takes a much more interesting approach than the other songs of this album, and it's one of which I really do enjoy in both its lyrics and its melody, and its meaning is one of which that it's something they don't really talk about much anymore, like just people in general, and I really enjoyed having this like idea that no matter how you feel, no matter like who you are, I will help you get through these struggles because I'm your friend and you deserve to feel good things. It's a message that we don't see very much throughout music later in like today's age. I don't see many people saying things like this because that sort of thing has now become like oh, if you have mental health then you're insane type of thing. It's a whole stigma that people don't really like to talk about anymore, and it kind of sucks because songs like these are very encouraging, and I miss the times when these songs should be something that people would regularly do, like encouraging people and telling people they would help them through music. It's just, it seems like a lost art, and it's a song that I really appreciate for its deeper meaning, not just being a song in of itself, but the meaning behind it being something that people don't really talk about anymore. It helps to know that this song exists, and it's one of the best songs on this album by far. Ruby is one of the more touching songs on this album, and one of the few that the true meaning has been shared by Tyler and Josh themselves. This song is about a girl named Ruby who went to Tyler and Josh's church. It is told to us that she has Down syndrome. This song is about how highly Tyler thinks of her, calling her an angel fallen down, among other names. He calls her pure and true, likely a description of when he called her an angel earlier in the song. This song ends with Tyler telling her to tell our dad I'm sorry, which is likely saying that he wishes to apologize to God for something. I love this song because it's written for and inspired by a person, and those types of songs always hit me in the feels. Tyler really nailed it with this song, and it's just I don't know. I have very few words for it. It's just such a nice song. It's written for it. And since we know who it's written for, it's even cooler to see that it's written for someone he knows, someone he knew and had a relationship with that isn't Tyler, Josh, or Tyler's wife, or any of like the main characters, if you will. It's somebody that we don't really know much about, and that's what makes this song really cool. It's about someone we don't really know, and he talks about this person so highly. It's just really cool to see. This song talks about Tyler's struggles and doubts with God. He references the Bible in this song a lot, using Jonah as an example multiple times. This song talks about how he fools everyone into thinking he's strong in his faith, and how he should be concerned that he's able to lie this easily. He is trying to understand God, but he claims that it's hard to devote himself to something that he can't see. This song is very heavy in its religious themes and is a very powerful song for those struggling with the same or similar things. Clear is a song about all the songs that Tyler has written so far and how a lot of them are connected to his faith and struggles with it. It seems to be a final song in a way, encapsulating all the things that he's sung about in the past. He's not sure how things are going to go in the future, and he knows that God has his back, but it seems that he thinks all the things that he's done wrong are making him an imposter of some kind. It's everything that he's been saying in this album, along with Self-Titled, which was very centered around its religious themes and the idea of Tyler being an imposter or doing all these things, not fully believing in God, or not using the full extent of his faith, or doubting him in a way, and thinking that he's worthless because of his doubt, and all these things and thoughts that he has towards religion and spiritual matters, which it's a very interesting song, and it's one of the better songs on this album, in my opinion, and it's really good for a closing track showing all the things that he's sung about in the album, encapsulating, like I said, and making everything like all sewn together. Yeah, that's the word, sewn together, and completes the album in a way that I really, really enjoy. In conclusion, for Regional at Best, this album is very similar in its meanings to Self-Titled, and it focuses the majority of its songs on mental health and spiritual matters, which is something that, it's not that he doesn't talk about spiritual stuff a lot anymore, it's just that it's more hidden in a lot of his future songs past this point. And I think the last song I remember being blatantly about like spiritual and religious themes that was like on the surface was Screen from Vessel. So it wasn't like it hasn't been like a huge drop off in the theme. It's just not as prevalent as it used to be, and that's a lot of what this album is about. And it's really, really interesting to see the way he writes about religious themes and all these other things that he doesn't really do much anymore, or like I said, as blatantly as he used to. And that's basically the whole thing about this album, is religion and parts of mental health in there as well, while also talking about other people, like Ruby. The song Ruby talks about Ruby, obviously, and it's very well-rounded album in its themes. Nothing's like it's not dead set on a specific theme. It's very different in a lot of its songs, and a lot of its songs mean different things, and that's what I really like about the album is you can click on any song and pretty much be put into any certain situation or any certain theme, like religion, spiritual stuff, mental health, just a nice, fun song. There's a lot of those in there as well, and it's a really cool album, and if you are a newer fan and haven't gotten a chance to check it out yet, I would highly recommend it. Clancy is the pilot's most recent release, coming out in May of this year. This album has been very well received by the fans and is being called their return to form by some of the fan base. This album is a very interesting one, so let's not waste any time and let's get into it. Overcompensate is the first track on Clancy, and it was quite a hard one to decipher. The song uses a lot of metaphors. Most often in the song uses Dangerous Ben symbol. The Dangerous Ben symbol was created by the Bourbaki group, which is, I believe, if I'm not mistaken, a mathematical group from the early 1900s. I could be wrong about that, though. The Dangerous Ben symbol was a sign to the reader, or in this case the listener, that it might be probable to make a mistake or misinterpret what they are reading or listening to. My theory is that it's talking about mental health and how common it is for people to run away from their issues. I think Tyler is telling the people in this song to not misinterpret their feelings and to know that there's a good chance that they might make a mistake or two when dealing with such problems. I went pretty in-depth into the next semester's meaning in my Clancy video from a couple weeks ago, but I'll do it again for those who weren't there at that point. Next semester talks about panic attack and anxiety attack and how they can affect a person. Tyler uses the phrases "can't feel my legs" and "might suffocate," describing the feeling one would have whilst getting a panic attack. I think that when he talks about running into the street, yellow dashes in the street, and "I wish those lights would take me home," he says in that verse, he's talking about an attempted suicide due to the overwhelming feelings of his panic attack. He then goes in to say that a man told him, "Can't change what you've done. Start fresh next semester." Semesters to those struggling with similar issues, don't worry about the past, or at least try your darndest not to, and focus on next semester, or rather, the future. Backslide is quite the interesting song. It talks about how Tyler yearns for something greater in life. He's getting tired of the same old happening over and over again. It also talks about how he doesn't want to fall back into patterns of depression via the lyrics, "I don't want to backslide to where I started from. There's no chance I can shake this again." He talks about how life can be draining and monotonous sometimes, and how he wants something new that doesn't force him back into his old ways of living. It almost sounds like a cry for help in some way, saying he wants someone to help him get out of his cycle, which could be both a religious call or, in terms of the lore, be talking about breaking out of the cycle that the bishops have put him into. Just like the last couple of songs on this album, this song was quite the hard one to look into. From what I gathered, he used his home state of Ohio as a metaphor, in a sense. He talks about someone who he's attempting to reach out to, that he claims that they're so cold. I think he's talking about God here and how he reaches out to him yet doesn't always get an answer. He uses dark blue as a metaphor for how he's feeling and how he wishes God would answer him and get him out of the dark blue feelings. I think, to me, that's what this song is about. I could be wrong, because I remember I watched Dima's video about Midwest Indigo, and I remember them saying all this stuff about how home isn't actually feel like home, and it's like there's a whole other meaning to it. It definitely is an interesting song that I feel like has meanings that really does depend on the person who's listening to the song and where you look at it from, like whether the lyrics or the music video. And it's a very interesting song, and if anybody has anything more to add about this one, because I really didn't have that much. This was like not even a whole full paragraph, so if anyone has anything else to add in the comments, that'd be much appreciated, because I really had a hard time with this song. This song is about how Tyler has trouble falling asleep at night and how his memories are like halls in his house. He takes a tour of them every night and sees all the things that keep him up. He talks about how some of the doors are marked with "Stay Out," spray painted in white. I assume that those are memories that Tyler wishes to forget and move on from. I'm testing the limits of what a mind can do. I believe he's saying that he's trying to push his mind to the limits, trying to see how much of his memories he can take. This song is an anthem for those dealing with similar feelings and thoughts, and he tells us how many people suffer from it, and it really uses the metaphor of halls and doors very cleverly to explain the idea. And it's a very, like, I'm not sure. I believe if I deciphered the song correctly, it's definitely not like anything positive. It's definitely he's being kept up by negative thoughts. Maybe a lot of the stuff that he talks about in his other songs, the negativity, anxiousness, whatever else it might be. It's definitely not a positive song unless you want to interpret it that way. But it is a lot of the truth for a lot of people. They their thoughts run rampant during the nighttime, and it doesn't help them fall asleep easier, and it's a whole thing that a lot of people deal with. And I'm pretty sure it was the negative thoughts, but again, I could be wrong. This album, since it was newer, there wasn't as much like it was a lot more of me actually looking at the lyrics themselves instead of like because normally I'll look at like websites that like have the lyrics splayed out, which makes it a lot easier to look at. But I keep complaining about how hard it was, but I guess since it's a newer album, there's not as much out there in terms of research and opinions as there is for their older albums because people had more time to delve into them in a sense. So this has been quite the tough video to make, and it's taken me a long while. So, anyways, let's get on to the next song. This song was a very interesting one to look into. This song is about someone struggling with addiction to, and I believe crack and or cocaine, which is I know quite the opener, but just stick with me here. It's about how Tyler tried to get the person to stop using said drugs, and he talks about the effects it has on the person. Now he can't hold out his hand without it shaking, showing how the drugs, are getting to the person he's talking about. Fresh off a binger in the woods, a binger is someone who is addicted to drugs, specifically crack. He talks about how the person is in denial, saying that it's for a friend, whatever that means. I was really unsure as to what that means, but Tyler doesn't believe whatever excuses that he's making. I found this song very interesting to dig into, and honestly, the topic was right in front of me, yet I had a hard time believing that Tyler wrote a song like this. It's not that Ty doesn't surprise me that he wrote a song, he wrote the song, obviously, but it surprises me more the topic because it's unusual and very different to what he normally does, and it's kind of interesting, very unique topic, which makes me wonder what this song's more who of this song is for. And I really want to go more into depth about this song because I really do love this song for a lot of like the lyrics, the vocals, the instrumental, all of it's really good. So it was a very surprising song to delve into. And I remember him saying that this song was unique to him during the live stream. So now I can kind of see that now. I can understand why he said the song is unique to him. I can see it, and it's actually really cool to see. Like you can see the song is unique because he says it. He says the song is unique. Then you go into it and you're like, oh snap, he was right. This song is really interesting when you really look at it at face value. And that's one of my favorite parts about looking into these songs is he can be super blunt, he can be super secretive. You just gotta look and then it'll click. You just have to look at the songs and finally understand. It's not like they're really that hard to see what he could have been talking about. And it's just so cool that you can go in and I can pick parts of the lyrics and just grab pieces, and it's been a lot of fun, and this song was really one of the more fun ones to look into despite it being more mysterious than some of the others, which is seeming to be a trending theme through a lot of the songs of this album. So I'm going to do both versions of The Craving so I can talk about them both simultaneously or in the same piece. So I'm going to start off with the single version, and so the single version is a song about how you can spend all this time working on something, put all this time and passion into a work of art just for like the higher ups or the big guys like record labels, companies, etc., just to shoot it into the crowd, not even really giving the time to appreciate the piece for what it truly is. It's just fire it away, and as soon as it flops, in their opinion, like they gets 15 million streams or whatever as compared to their like 50 million, they're like, no, this is a garbage, this is a flop. And it's just they call it a miss as soon as it doesn't meet their expectations, and that's just how it is in the industry. They don't take time to appreciate art for what it truly is, and they see it, they shoot it, and if it's not their expectations, they don't care. And that's the thing that I really don't like about the industry is how they do that so much. Like there's so many really cool artists out there of such great music, but the labels don't really care about them really at all. One, because they want money, and two, because if it doesn't meet their numbers and their expectations, how are they supposed to make said money? So why would they care about the artist and actually want to, like, we don't care about your songs because we just want to make money. It's, a whole rant on how the industry is basically just kind of sucks. And there's another song right after this one, in fact, that spreads the same message. All right, let's move on to the Jenna's version, which is the love song for this album. And it's about Tyler's wife, Jenna, and how he wishes to be a good husband for her. He talks about hopefully keeping the craving for their relationship strong as they grow older, and how much he loves her. It's a very sweet song. It's very nice to hear the softer uke as compared to the single version. There's a lot of differences between the two. The lyrics are pretty much the same. If I remember correctly, the lyrics are almost, and if not exactly, identical. It's just the tone of the song, the way he sings, and the music videos. You can definitely tell there's differences between the two songs, and they mean different things based on the tone. It's the same lyrics, same idea, but it's really cool how the tone is different, which sets an entirely different mood for the song, and it means an entirely different thing just because of the tone. You didn't change much other than the way the instrument was played and the way the voice was being used, and it changed the song entirely, which is awesome because I love how he could do such a simple thing, a simple song, and make the song so unique just by changing it up just a little bit. And yeah, that's the beauty of Tone Deaf Pilots, man. They can do that with pretty much anything. To put it simply, Lavish makes fun of an overdone life of luxury. They mock the grandeur of the over-the-top award ceremonies and how you need to pretend to be tough to survive in the music industry. It's basically a giant middle finger to the industry and how manufactured and lavish everything has become as of late. The song uses quite its fair share of metaphors, and my favorite of the whole album. I see your problem is your proctologist got both hands on your shoulder while you're bottomless, which is pretty much them saying you're getting effed by the music industry. So it's very similar to the Craving single version, which is like talking about the industry and how they're just a bunch of pieces of crap, and they won't, they throw away things. Well, don't even look at the passion of the art that's being created, and they just toss it to the side. And it's kind of sad, really, how fabricated and luxury filled the industry of music has become, and it's only the biggest can survive. And if you're not tough, then you won't get streams. You have to be tough. You have to put yourself out there and be formulaic and be likable by all these money-making machines just so you can become popular and live the luxury life, which is all just a lie because of how they will put out there who they want to put out there. And it's a really interesting what is it? It's a very interesting company business they run, and this is just proof that a lot of people really have a vendetta against the way that music industries are run now, and it just shows. It really does. Tyler yet again hits on the whole dealing with your thoughts and mental illness in this song. It talks about similar topics to Routines in the Night, saying that he's navigating and wasting all this time. He claims to not know how long it's been, which I think is him saying that he's lost in his thoughts for so long that he doesn't remember what time it is or where he really is. He's also looking for advice from someone in the song who I think is God. He's asking God to help him escape his mind, and he begins to spill the truth, saying that he's afraid of people leaving or losing people, considering that it's been quite a lot of people doing that to him recently, from deaths to other methods. He's become afraid of such things, and it makes his head hurt, and he's worried about the future. And he keeps thinking about, oh, what if I lose this person? What if I lose this person? I just lost, such and such. What if this person goes away too? I don't want to keep losing people because it hurts. And I keep thinking about it, and I'm just trying to get through my head, and I'm losing track of time, and I don't know how long it's been, and all these other things. And it's really cool to see him put. I love Navigating for its beat, its lyrics, it's super catchy. I said that all in the Clancy video, but I love the song for the way it puts the feeling of loss, I guess, in a way, to a perspective where you can't understand your own thoughts anymore, and your brain you're just running through your thoughts and trying to figure out your thoughts, because loss is a hard thing to deal with, and I think this song encapsulates that feeling perfectly, and I really love it for it. Snapback is similar in its lyrics to Backslide, almost directly mentioning it in the beginning. It talks about how it doesn't want to snap and go back to where he was. He asks, is it even good for my head to keep track, as if he's afraid that he's focusing too much on how things were and trying to get away from them instead of focusing on the future and making something new. It's very similar to Backslide in a lot of ways, and it seems to be like an acknowledgement of sorts to the problems that he's facing and how he focuses too much on the issues instead of focusing on building a future and making something new for himself, which is a thing a lot of people, including myself, I would say, are guilty of. People like to focus on the past and dwell on the past and be like, oh, woe is me. I did all these things I've been through. Despite making it to the other side, I still think about it too much, and I need to stop thinking about the past because it already happened, and go ahead and, work towards a future where these things don't happen, where I don't repeat the same mistakes, and I can move on, move forward, and have better days. Oh boy, this video is taking forever. We're at like 25 minutes now. We're almost there. Almost towards the end. Only 3 more songs. This song is my favorite on Clancy, which I, again, explained in the Clancy video. Tyler had said that this song was for us and, the fans. It's about how dealing with depression and anxiety can take a toll on people. But once you've made it through those feelings, you gotta persevere and keep going. Things are gonna happen, like people passing away, but life goes on, and so should you. Even if there's nothing in the tank, you have to just stay alive, meaning, just keep going, man. Just because things have happened doesn't mean that means you should stop too. Its meaning reminds me a lot of Truce from Vessel and how we just gotta stay alive and see another day. Things might be tough in life, but life is so much more than just those feelings. It's more than just day by day feeling all these feelings. Life is exciting, life is valuable, and I think that what this song is trying to relate to us is that he knows a lot of things we've been through because he's made songs about them, and we've acknowledged those things that we've been through because we relate to him in a way. And it's just saying you gotta live on for better days. Like at the concerts, he always says, like he says at the concerts, like who's what is it? He says who's feeling good today, who's happy to be alive, like those sort of things. Like he knows what we've been through, and it shows that this song is for us. And I hate how much hate it's been getting recently because of stuff on tour, and I hope I do get to see this song live one day because I think I would actually cry. I know, I sound so excited for this to be over, but I've been doing recordings and stuff and editing for like the past 4 days, and I'm tired, and I had to delay the video, which because my editing software was having issues, and obviously we're back up and running, so I apologize if it sounds like I'm rushing through the songs, but it is 2 a.m. on a early Sunday morning, so let's get to At Risk of Feeling Dumb. This song takes Oldie Station and turns it pretty much around in a sense. It talks about how people who are close to you might be dealing with sad mental health issues and how you should check up on them more often. People you love might be dealing with things you don't know about, so to keep from feeling dumb, Tyler says, you should try and, take mental health more seriously, make it less of a stigma and a burden, and more of a thing you and your friends should feel comfortable to bring forward with each other and talk about, which is a valid point because mental health has been kind of treated like dirt, as of late, and this is a message to everybody out there to just keep up with your friends. Make sure your friends are doing all right, because you never know how your friends are feeling, like truly, unless you ask them. So this song is just a message to, keep in touch with your friends and make sure your friends are all right, because things might be happening in their life you don't know about, because unless you talk to them every second of every day, you don't know what's going on in their lives. So it's just a message to stay in touch and make sure your friends are all right and keep up with them. This song was a tough one, and I think after a bit of looking at the lyrics, I figured it out. I think this song is about how Tyler's been trying for years to make a connection with God, and that he is finally taking the chance, swimming across the Paladin Strait, in which in my eyes is swimming across life, dealing with the storms and waves that constantly crash over us. He's doing this without much help on his own, only knowing that God is expecting him to make the connection, or in the figurative terms, swim across and make it to the other side. It's a very deep song that I love for its meaning, and one that I think most people would only associate with the lore at first glance. So that's every single song now. Every single 21 Pilot song has been explained. I'm sorry for the delay on this video. My editing software was being really weird Friday, Friday morning, so I had to wait a couple hours to get through and hope it fixed itself, which gladly it did. Yeah, I think this video is 28 minutes long after all the editing has been done. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. It's a very long one. And if you have any other thoughts or opinions, anything that I might have missed, then feel free to leave it in the comments, because I appreciate any comments that I get, and I will respond to as many, if not all of them. Thank you guys so much for watching.